The sky was quiet that night, thought no wind, no sound, just stars above and silence below. The human was walking alone, far from the city lights, looking up. They always liked the stars. They felt peaceful, safe. But that night, one star moved out. It was slow at first, then faster. Then it stopped, right above them. A cold light came down. The human tried to run. But their legs didn't move. Their body froze. Their minds screamed. The light got brighter, and then nothing got the human woke up. In darkness, the floor was metal. The air was cold. There were no windows, no doors. Just walls that hummed like something alive. They sat up, heart racing. Where were they? A dream? A trap? Suddenly, lights turned on. Soft, white, and quiet. In front of them, the wall opened like it was breathing. And something walked in. It was tall, thin. Its skin was smooth like glass. Its eyes glowed. It had no mouth, no nose. Just eyes watching. The human crawled back, afraid. But the creature did not come closer. It stood there, studying Dot, then more came. 3, 5, 10. All silent. All watching. No one spoke. No one touched Dot, just watching. Time passed, but the human didn't know how much. There were no clocks. No day or night. Sometimes the lights would go off. Sometimes. They'd wake up in a different room, a new space, a new shape. Sometimes they saw things flashes. Their own memories. Childhood. School. Family. Were the aliens looking inside their mind? They tried speaking. Who are you? No answer. Where am I? Still silence. Why me? The creatures blinked, but never replied. One day, something changed. A small creature came in alone. It looked the same as the others, but something was different. It didn't stand far away. It sat just a few steps away. The human stared. The creature stared back. Minutes passed. Then the human spoke again. Do you understand me? No answer. I'm not your enemy. Still silence. But this time, the creature tilted its head. Was that a reaction? The human kept talking. They told stories about Earth, about family, about food, music, laughter, love. The creature didn't move. But it didn't leave either. More time passed. The human was no longer locked in one room. They were moved to new places. One had plants. One had mirrors. One had sound. Strange sounds like whispers, like songs, like thoughts that weren't. There's Dot one night. The human sat alone in a mirror room. Their reflection looked thinner, tired, eyes full of fear. That's when they saw it again. The creature who stayed Dot walked in slowly. Then sat down. The human smiled. You came back. They whispered. The creature didn't reply. But this time, it reached out just a little. The human didn't move. Then slowly, they reached out too. Their fingers touched. The moment was small. Just a second. But something inside the creature changed. It jerked its hand back. Its eyes flickered like broken lights. Then it stood and rushed out of the room. The human sat alone again, confused, but not afraid. That night, the human had dreams, strange ones. They saw stars melting, planets burning, and in the middle of it all, the creature, standing alone, reaching out again, on the alien ship, far away in a room filled with screens. The other creatures watched. One of them turned to another. A signal passed between them. No words, just thought. It has begun. Another responded. Emotion is spreading. Stop it before it spreads further. But one voice, deep, strange, uncertain, said something different. What if it's not a sickness? There was silence. That question had never been asked before. The human didn't know any of this. They only knew that, for the first time, one of the creatures seemed real, not just a watcher, not just a machine, but something else. Something almost human. They didn't know that touching one alien would start a war among them. They didn't know that their presence would break the ship from the inside. They didn't know that the creatures would never recover. But the first step had already been taken, and there was no going back. Asterisk. The human woke up again, but something felt wrong this time. The room was the same. cold, metal, quiet, but something in their mind wasn't. They sat up slowly, breathing hard. Their hands were shaking. A voice had whispered in their dream, but it wasn't their voice. All around them, the walls began to shift. No doors, no windows, but now colors, shapes, sounds that felt like memories. A school bell, a mother's laugh, a scream. The human grabbed their head, eyes wide. These weren't dreams. These were pieces of their past, torn open, spread out. Something was digging inside their brain, and it was watching. Behind the wall, dozens of creatures stood in silence. Their eyes pulsed with soft blue light, all focused on the same screen. The human's mind was open to them like a book. They were searching for something. Fear. Love? Pain? The creatures didn't know what they were looking for, but one thing was clear. This human was different. The small creature. The one who had touched the human watched too, but it didn't stare at the screen. It stared at the human. Something. Inside it twisted. A strange pull. Not logic. Not data. Something warm. Confusing. Wrong? It remembered the moment their fingers touched. It shouldn't matter. But it did. Inside the strange room. The human began to speak aloud. I know what you're doing. No reply. You're in my head. Still silence. You want to feel what I feel, but you don't even know what it means, do you? The walls didn't answer, but the lights flickered like something heard them. The human stood. I'm not afraid of you anymore. That was a lie. But they said it anyway. Then the wall opened, and the small creature walked in alone. They stared at each other. The human stepped forward. I remember you, they said. You were the only one who stayed. The creature didn't move. The human slowly reached out again. But this time, the alien stepped back. The human's voice cracked. You're scared now. Still silence. Then, finally, a voice not out loud, but inside the human's mind. You are changing us. The human's eyes widened. You can talk? Not like you. Only mind to mind. Then why now? Because they want me to stop you. The room went cold. The lights dimmed. The creature's eyes flickered again. Conflicted. Suddenly, pain shot through the human's head. They screamed and fell to their knees. Memories flooded back too fast. Too sharp. A car crash. A lost friend. Fire. Blood. Regret. The aliens were testing pain. Now, but the small creature raised its hand and the memories stopped. The pain faded. The human looked up, breathing hard. Eyes full of tears. You stopped it. The creature's hand shook. They will know I did. Why help me? A pause, because when I felt your pain, something inside me broke. In a control chamber above, alarms began to blink. Other creatures turned sharply. Signals raced between them. It is resisting. It has touched the human again. The change is growing. Orders were sent. Erase the human's memory. Cut the connection. Lock them away. But it was too late. The small creature had already done the one thing that could not be undone. It had started to feel. The human was moved again. This new room was colder. Smaller. No lights, no colors. Just walls. They sat alone. Thinking, that voice, was it real? Did it really feel something? And if it did, could others? They stood and shouted, I know you're watching. No answer. You can feel now, can't you? That's why you're afraid. Still silence. Then the wall opened, and a group of creatures entered, not like before. These ones had sharp eyes, no softness, no light in them. They didn't study. They surrounded. One stepped forward. Its eyes glowed red. The human backed up. Then, out of nowhere, a loud pulse shook the room. The lights went black. The guards froze. Voice echoed in the human's mind. Run. It was the small creature. Now, the wall behind them opened again. The human didn't wait. They ran. Corridors stretched endlessly, glowing with strange symbols. Alarms blared. Sirens rang. The ship was waking up. The voice spoke again. Left. Down. Now jump. The human obeyed. No time to think. They jumped through a low tunnel, sliding into a chamber filled with moving lights. The floor vibrated. What is this? The human asked. The memory core. Then silence. The human turned and saw it. The small creature was standing there, alone. I came to help you escape. It said in their mind. The human stepped closer. Why me? I don't know. But when I saw you cry, something in me broke. I saw myself. You're not like them, are you? I was. But not anymore. The creature looked around. They will come soon. They will erase you, or erase me. Then we leave together. The alien's eyes dimmed. There's no way out. But there may be a way to send you back. To Earth? The creature nodded. I will stay. The human shook their head. No, not after what you've done for me. You don't understand, the creature said. You're not just the first human on this ship. You are the first to make one of us. Feel. The human's eyes filled again. Then come with me. I can't. Alarms got louder. Heavy steps echoed in the halls. They're almost here. The creature turned, pressed its hand against the wall. A portal opened. Go now. The human stepped forward, then stopped. You saved me once, they said. Now I'll save you. Before the creature could stop them, the human pulled it into the portal with them. Together, they vanished. The chamber exploded behind them, far away, deep in the heart of the ship. The leaders watched in silence. One turned to the others. It has escaped with the infected one. Another replied, It is not just escape. It is a beginning. And then, the final voice. We were once perfect. Now we are broken. The ship fell silent, not quiet silent. No thoughts, no orders. Not even the hum of the walls. Something unspoken had changed. And every creature on board felt it. They had escaped. The human and the one who had turned against its own kind were gone. Vanished through a door that should not exist. The ship's control systems scanned every corridor, every sector, but there was no trace. The leaders sent one message across their network, short and final. Seal the core, lock the memories, contain the infection. But it was already too late. Far beneath the ship's surface, in a forgotten maintenance tunnel, the human opened their eyes. Their chest hurt. Their hands shook. The air was thin and strange. They turned and saw it. The alien, the one who helped them. Lying still beside them. It wasn't dead. But it looked weak, dim, like a light running out of power. The human crawled over and touched its shoulder. You with me? They whispered. The creature opened its eyes. Slowly, flickering like a candle in the wind. You pulled me through the gate, it said. You saved me first, the human replied. They looked around. It was dark. Wet pipes hissed in the walls. A long, narrow passage stretched into shadow. Where are we? The creature blinked. Below the memory core, a place even they forgot. The human stood up. Then let's keep moving before they remember. They walked in silence, side by side, not as prisoner and guard. Not as enemies. Something else now. Something neither had a word for. In another part of the ship. Confusion spread. A technician reached out for the thought stream only to feel pain. Sharp, sudden, emotional pain. It dropped to the floor. Shaking, trembling, others rushed to its side. But it was too late. Its mind had touched something human. And it had cracked. They carried it away, but the damage was done. Whispers spread through the ship, mind to mind, faster than alarms. What did the human bring with them? Why were others starting to feel? Why were some crying? Back in the tunnel, the human stopped. Their hands touched a wall. It wasn't metal. It was soft, almost like skin. What is this place? They asked. The alien hesitated. Before we built minds like machines, we were different. We made this place to hide what we didn't understand. The wall pulsed. Inside it, something moved. The human stepped back. Is it alive? Yes, and it remembers everything. Then the wall opened. A slow, wet sound like breathing echoed out, and inside was not a room. It was a mind. The human stepped forward without thinking. Lights swirled. Images spun around them. Not like videos. Not like screens. Thoughts. Floating. drifting, twisting through the air like fog. They saw a planet not Earth burning in silence. They saw alien hands reaching out, not to fight, but to feel. Then screams, fire, then silence again. What is this? The human whispered. The alien stood behind them. This is where our feelings went to die. But why lock them away? Because we were afraid of pain, so we erased love, joy, grief, all of it. And now, the alien looked down. Now, I think I made a mistake. Suddenly, the mind reacted. It pulled the human deeper. Images flashed faster. Childhood, loss, anger. Hope. Then something new. The creature's own memory. Watching the human in the first room, feeling something warm, and choosing not to report it. The human turned. You saw me, and you changed? I didn't mean to, but you did. And now, I think I'm changing too. The human stepped closer. And again, for the second time, they reached out their hand. This time, the alien didn't pull back. Their fingers touched. The ship screamed, a deep, low sound like metal breaking from the inside. Every screen glitched. Lights burst. Creatures across the ship froze in place, clutching their heads. The memory core had awakened. One by one. The minds of the ship began to crack. Some cried out. Some fell silent. Some remembered. The human and the alien stepped out of the chamber. Behind them, the door sealed forever. We started something. The human said, "We broke something," the alien replied. Footsteps echoed nearby. A patrol, dozens of sharp-eyed creatures searching for them. Searching for the infection. They ran. The tunnel twisted like a maze. Lights flickered above. The ground shook. Behind them. The patrol entered the memory chamber and stopped. Some screamed. Some fell. One of them stepped forward and smiled. In the command chamber, the leaders argued without speaking. We were pure. We were logical. Now, our minds feel fire. A final command was given. Erase the source. The human, the one who started it. Every drone, every weapon. Every system was sent. Not to study. To kill. The human reached a door. Behind it, stars, a hangar bay. A chance to escape, but the way was blocked. Drones hovered, silent, watching. The alien stepped forward. They won't let you go. They'll kill you too. Then we fight. A flash of light, a sound like thunder, and then nothing but stars. Somewhere in the black of space, a small pod floated away. Two shapes inside, silent, breathing. Alone, not afraid. Something had changed, and the creatures aboard that alien ship would never, ever forget it. Asterisk, the pod drifted through space like a ghost. No engines. No signal. Just silence, and the soft blinking of a dying power core. Inside. The human floated with the alien beside them. No words. No sound. Just breathing and thought. The stars outside moved slowly. Like time itself was holding its breath. Then, a low crackle. The radio. Double quotes. Unknown signal. Not from this sector. Repeat, unidentified pod located. The human sat up, eyes wide. Earth? Rescue? The alien stirred. Its glow had faded. Its body was weak. They found us. The human whispered. Are they yours? The alien asked. I don't know, but they're not you. The alien closed its eyes again. Then be careful, not everything from your world is safe. Hours passed. Then light. A ship appeared from the dark, massive and silver. With Earth markings, the pod was pulled in. Metal arms. Scanners, bright lights. The door opened. And humans stood outside. Real human stock faces. Eyes, suits with flags. Weapons. The rescued. One stepped forward, shaking. I'm from Earth, they said. The soldiers didn't answer. They stared past them. At the alien, guns raised. Don't, the human shouted. It's not dangerous. It's one of them, a soldier. Sad. Step aside. No, the human said, standing firm. It saved me. One of the soldiers stepped forward. You're not thinking clearly. It touched your mind. It could be controlling you. The human's voice rose. It didn't take me. It let me go. It helped me escape, and it felt just like us. The alien looked up weakly. Let them choose. I will not hide. The soldiers hesitated. Then the commander gave the order. Take them both. The human and the alien were taken to a deep facility hidden beneath the surface of an unknown moon. Not prison, not home. Something in between. Doctors asked questions. Scientists took notes. Psychologists watched through glass. Did it speak? To you? Yes. How? Not with words, with feelings. What does it want? The human looked at the cameras. I think it just wants to be understood. The scientists exchanged nervous glances, but others were not so curious. They were afraid. They had seen the ship's data. Something had spread on board. Something emotional, uncontrollable, and they believed the human brought it back. The alien stayed in a sealed room. No windows, no sound. Its glow was almost gone. One night, the human entered the chamber. They sat across from each other in silence. Then the human whispered, "They think we're dangerous." "We might be," the alien said. "We changed each other." The human laughed softly. "I think that's the most human thing I've heard you say." "I don't understand laughter," the alien admitted. "But when I hear it, I want to." The human smiled, then frowned. "There's something else," they said. "I saw something in the reports. The ship isn't lost." "It sent out a signal." The alien's eyes flickered. "They're coming, aren't they?" "Yes," the alien said. "And not to talk." The leaders had received the message. The infection had escaped containment. The human and the rogue. One were alive. The ship sent coordinates. A new order was given. Erase the source planet. No questions. No mercy. Back on the moon. Alarms blared. Sky above cracked open as something massive entered orbit. Not a ship. Hive. Dark. Silent. Alive. Human satellites failed. Communications died. Systems blinked out. Then a message came through, beamed directly into every mind. Return the infected, or we will return you to dust. The human stood in front of the glass where the alien sat. "They're coming for you. They're coming for both of us," the alien replied. "You touched me, but I touched them." The human looked up. "Then maybe it's time we touch back." Against all orders, they broke free. The human knew the corridors now. The systems, they had memorized everything. They reached the control deck. Disabled the internal locks. Alarms screamed again. But this time, the guards hesitated. Some of them had dreams. Strange ones. Emotions they hadn't felt in years. Some had seen the human speak to the alien. And deep down, something in them wanted to believe. Wanted to feel. The escape wasn't clean. Shots fired. Doors slammed shut. But they made it out. Not in a pod this time. In a warship. Small. Fast. Built for battle. But now carrying something far more dangerous than any weapon. Hope. Has. The stars stretched before them. The alien looked at the human. "We are alone again." "No," the human said. "We are together." Behind them, Earth prepared for war. Ahead of them, the alien hive moved closer. And in between, two beings. One human, one not. Both changed forever. Both hunted by their own. And both holding on to one idea neither side could understand. What if the infection was the cure? The warship moved faster than light, but not fast enough. Behind it, Earth prepared defenses. Ahead, the alien hive spread like a black sun across the stars, growing, pulsing, alive with thoughts no human could hear. Inside the ship, the human sat in the pilot seat, hands shaking. The alien sat behind them, weak but watching. "Do you think they'll follow?" The human asked. "They never stop," the alien said. "They fear what we became." "We didn't become monsters." "No," the alien replied. "We became ... possible." On Earth, chaos. Satellites failed. Skies turned red. Strange whispers filled the minds of sleeping people. Some woke screaming. Some ... crying. Some said they had dreams of a place they had never seen. A ship. A glowing room. A choice. Governments panicked. Military bases locked down. One leader said, "Kill the signal." Another said, "Kill the source." And someone in a dark room whispered, "What if we listen instead?" But it was too late for listening. The ship approached a dead zone, an old station floating in silence, abandoned for decades. No lights. No heat. Just bones and echoes. The human landed there, hiding from scanners. They entered the dark with flashlights and fear. Why here? The human asked. The alien replied, because no one remembers it. And sometimes, forgotten things are where truth hides. Inside, they found something strange. A wall that wasn't a wall. It pulsed when the alien touched it. A door opened, and behind it, another mind older than the hive. Older than Earth. Something neither side had seen in centuries. It looked like a tree made of light. Growing from stone, but it spoke without sound. It showed images in the air. A planet destroyed. A warning. Never. Two species that once stood side by side, human, and not together. Not enemies. Not invaders. Friends. The human gasped. What is this? The alien stepped closer. I think it's proof that we were never supposed to fight. But we did, yes, the alien said. Because someone wanted us to forget. Suddenly, the mind tree shivered. A dark signal approached. Not from Earth. Not from the hive. Something older. Watching. Waiting. A third player. A silence so deep. It screamed. The mind tree sent a final message into the alien's thoughts. Then it died, vanished into light and dust. The alien fell to its knees. What did it say? The human whispered. The alien looked up, eyes wide. It said we were not enemies by nature. We were made enemies by design. Back on Earth, those who had touched the infection were changing, not mutating. Evolving. They spoke of things no one had taught them. They drew stars they had never seen, and they cried in strange languages. Some called them broken, others called them prophets. And in orbit, the hive arrived, not with fire, with silence. Watching. Waiting. Testing. A human and the alien left the dead station behind. Now. They knew the truth. A third force had shaped the war. A shadow. Manipulator. One that feared unity. Because unity meant memory. And memory meant resistance. In deep space. A voice reached out. Not from the hive. Not from Earth. But from the shadow. It spoke in both their minds. Return to your roles. Return to your silence. Or be erased. The human closed their eyes. No. The alien stood beside them. Never again. A pulse hit the ship. Systems failed. Lights went out. Both dropped to the floor. And the shadow came. Not as a ship. Not as a being, but as a void. Empty. Cold. Full of fear. The human tried to scream, but sound died in their throat. The alien reached. For them glowed brighter than ever before. A final spark. Then dash boom. Light. Explosion. Memory unlocked. And suddenly, they remembered everything. Before the war. Before the ship. Before the lies. The alien was not the first to rebel. The human was not the first to be taken. There were others, long ago, and some were still. Alive. Hidden. Waiting. As the light cleared. The shadow was gone, and the ship stood, whole again. But something had changed. In both of them. Their eyes glowed the same. Now. Not human. Not alien. Something new. The next. Evolution. Not made by war. Made by understanding. And the galaxy was not ready for it. But it was coming. Asterisk. The ship floated in silence again. But it wasn't broken. It was waiting. The human stood at the window, staring at stars that didn't feel like stars anymore. They felt like eyes. Watching. Behind them, the alien sat on the floor, eyes glowing softly. Skin dim with silver cracks. Something had changed inside both of them. They weren't what they used to be. Not fully human. Not fully alien. And somehow, not afraid anymore, the human touched the ship's controls. They no longer needed buttons. Thoughts were enough. With a blink, the map lit up. Hundreds of systems, ancient coordinates, memories only the alien could have known. But now, the human saw them too. Why do I remember these places? They asked. Because we're linked now, the alien said. Are we one mind? No, the alien replied. Something better. Two minds. Choosing to stay open. Suddenly, a pulse hit the ship. Not an attack. A signal. It came from a small planet near a dying sun. A place no one visited. The alien's eyes widened. That's where they are, it said. Who? The others. The first ones who escaped. You mean, like us? No. Older, stronger, and hiding from the same shadow. They set a course. Time stretched. Space twisted. And then they landed. The planet was dark. Empty. Wind screamed across. Black rock. No lights. No signs. Until the ground opened. A staircase revealed itself. Stone steps leading deep underground. Into warmth and memory. They descended slowly together. And at the bottom, voices. Whispers in their heads. Not words. Feelings. Hope. Fear. Pain. Love. Grief. Then footsteps. Figures stepped into the light. They looked human. But their eyes held galaxies. Their skin shimmered with forgotten stars. One of them smiled. You're late, they said. The human stepped back. You knew I was coming? We've been waiting for both of you, the stranger said. The alien asked, Are you like us? The stranger's smile faded. We were like you, until we had to hide. From the shadow? No, the stranger said quietly. From ourselves. They walked through tunnels of light and stone. Strange machines hummed in the walls. The stranger explained. We once believed what the shadow told us. That unity was a virus. That feeling was weakness. That humans were chaos. But we touched it, the human said, and it felt real. It is real, the stranger nodded, and dangerous. Dangerous to who? The alien asked. To the ones who survived by keeping us apart. In the heart of the structure, a machine stood, old, huge, glowing like a heartbeat. What is that? The human whispered. It's the original seed, the stranger said. The first connection between species. Before war. Before silence. Why did it stop working? Because someone feared what would happen if we remembered. The alien stepped closer. What if we restart it? The stranger's face changed. Then everything ends, or begins. Suddenly, alarms. Bright red lights. The chamber shook. Outside, the sky opened again. Not the hive. Not Earth. Something new. The shadow had found them. Not a ship. Not a being. But a wall of silence. Stretching across the stars, eating light, crushing sound, killing thought. The strangers began to panic. Some fell too. Their knees? Some screamed, but the human and the alien stood still. Together. One spark. Two hearts. And they stepped forward. Into the machine. The strangers shouted. You don't know what it will do. We don't need to, the human said. We feel what it must. The alien added. Their hands touched the core, and everything exploded. But not into fire. Into memory. Suddenly they were everywhere. On Earth. On the ship. In the hive. Inside the shadow. They saw every war. Every lie. Every choice made out of fear. And then one spark of something else. Love. The shadow saw to. And for the first time in all time, it hesitated. Because in that moment, in the center of everything, the shadow remembered what it once was. Not fear. Not silence, but connection. The machine glowed brighter than ever. The walls cracked. The strangers began to change their bodies, lighting up with ancient power they had forgotten. No one was hiding anymore. And the shadow screamed, not with sound, but with absence. And then with a soft sound like a breath. It broke. The stars flickered. The darkness shrank. And in the middle of the galaxy, for the first time in 1,000 years, everything was quiet. Not silent. Peaceful. The human opened their eyes. They were still holding the alien's hand. But now, the hand was different. Not alien. Not human. Both. They looked up and smiled. We're not just survivors anymore. No, the alien replied. We're the beginning. And far, far away, others opened their eyes to. In labs. On ships. On planets. That had forgotten hope dot, they felt it dot, the connection, the memory, the spark. They stood in the center of it all, dot no longer just a human and an alien, something new dot something whole, their hands still touching the ancient core, which now pulsed with life, not seen in 1,000 years. Above them, the sky had changed. The shadow was gone dot not destroyed, dot healed dot unearthed. People who had been infected with emotion, with connection, stood still under starlight, no longer afraid, no longer doubting. They could feel the change, not through screens or orders, but inside. Something soft. Something powerful, dot like waking from a long, cold sleep. Inside the hive. The once silent minds now sang. They remembered what they were. Before the fear. Before the programming dot, before the chains dot, they were not. Monsters dot, they were explorers dot, dreamers dot, and they had been tricked. Just like the humans dot, the new beings, the hybrid pair, looked at each other. We've lit the signal. The human said, but it's only the beginning, the alien answered. What comes next? The walls around them shifted. The stars above them responded. Voices began to speak dot, not in language dot, in shared feeling. Across the galaxy dot, billions of minds, billions of thoughts dot coming together. But not all welcomed the light dot far in the deep, where no star shined. Something old stirred dot, it was not the shadow dot, it was the one who made the shadow. A creature without body or shape dot, it fed on separation dot, and now it was hungry. Do you feel that? The human asked, their voice trembling. Yes, the alien replied. It's the final silence. The room darkened dot, not from lack of light, but from pressure. From presence dot, a force entered the chamber, and it spoke, not in sound. Not in thought dot, in removal. Undo this. Split again. Return to silence. The human fell to one knee. The alien's light flickered, but neither let go. And then a memory came, from long ago, dot not theirs. Human hands reaching out to stars. Alien lights dancing in the dark. Two species, once curious, once united. Before the walls, before the fear dot, it was never supposed to be war dot. It was supposed to be us. The human stood again, not afraid. You can't break us. They said dot, the force pressed harder. The alien whispered, together, always. And emerged dot, not body, dot, not mind dot, well dot. And suddenly dash light dot, it burst out of them. A wave that raced across galaxies, touching every star, every mind, every dark corner. The ancient thing screamed, not in anger, but in fear, because it had never been defeated, only forgotten. And now, it was seen dot, and that was enough dot. It shattered into dust dot, gone dot, forever dot, silence again. But this time, it was calm dot, peaceful dot, all across the stars. Warships powered down. Hives opened. Humans cried. Aliens reached out, dot not with weapons, dot with hands, with light, with trust. The two stood on the last platform, watching a new sunrise rise from a world that had never seen day dot. They were no longer human dot, no. Longer alien? They were memory and hope dot, and behind them, others began to follow, dot change, dot, ready dot, someone. Once asked, why did the first human on an alien ship never recover? Now the answer was clear. Because they didn't need to recover. They evolved. They became the first. Step in something new. A future where war was not needed, dot, where minds were open, where fear had no place to hide, dot, and somewhere, in some small corner of the universe, a child looked up at the stars and whispered, I want to be like them.